Welcome to Who Put This On, Season 2, Episode 3. And I'm Chris Lorenz, and sitting to my left is...
Robert Kitts.
Sitting to his left...
Harrison Hoffman.
Sitting to my right, or across from me...
I am a Max.
So this week we watched Cooks vs. Cons, Season 2, Episode 5. And man, this shit was bad. It was so bad.
In your opinion?
Bad. It was bad in everyone's opinion. Get out of here.
I don't know. I feel like should we do a little setup on the show?
Let's do a little setup on the show.
Okay.
Somebody else do it. I'm too upset.
I am pulling up the official description here. Maybe.
You didn't just have it ready to go?
I didn't have it ready to go. I probably should have.
Unprofessional.
Unbelievable.
Somebody's a con.
Somebody fill the dead air. Oh,
There
it's
we
on
go.
the TV still. Can a talented home cook beat a professional, or does a true chef have skills that no amateur could match? Jeffrey Zakarian hosts a new kind of cooking competition, and only a blind taste test will prove who has the best dish.
I think that was a really good pronunciation of that guy's last name.
I was impressed.
I was very impressed.
So it's blind taste tests in that you don't know if they're a cook or a con, but like
Well, let's take a step back.
Okay.
That description didn't quite explain the show.
okay.
So it's a cooking competition show. There's 4 chefs. 2 of them are professional chefs who work in a restaurant, and 2 of them are amateur chefs who cook at home. So the idea is they're the cons pretending to be real chefs.
And immediately I had a problem with the title. I thought that when we were discussing earlier today about what show we should do, and I thought it was going to be Cooks versus Convicts, which is, if you're going to say cons, like that's immediately what you jump to, I think.
Yeah. The name of the show definitely makes it seem like it's a bunch of professional chefs versus a bunch of convicts.
Which I think could be a pretty good show. Like, you get a bunch of prison chefs, and you...
So are they criminals who are chefs, or are they people who cook in prisons?
I think if it's cons, they're convicts. So they
Okay.
are the
So,
prisoners who are cooking.
My dad works as like cooks for in prisons. He doesn't really do a lot of cooking. They just like get a bunch of shit brought in, like the lowest quality meats and everything, and they just like mass produce it. There's no like good cooking going on in like
Which
in the
is
prison
why
system.
I thought it was going to be an interesting show, because it's like they've gone to these prisons and found that one diamond in a rough who has a real passion for cooking, and now he's on this reality show.
Is this like an American Idol kind of like they like interview everyone and like get the worst people and the best people, and you get to see their interview tapes and everything.
And then if you win the competition, then you get pardoned.
Did
Yep.
you guys know the show is actually a spinoff?
Of?
It was released in the U.S. under a different name, but in Europe it was called Pilot or Con. It was released here as Con Air, starring Nicolas Cage.
Damn it, Max.
That was a good long con by Max.
I mean,
You got cons.
to that point, when we started watching the show, we were like, okay, we got to guess who's a cook and a con. And Harrison put down who we thought were convicts.
Because-
and who we thought were chefs.
Yeah, because I didn't understand the concept of the show, obviously.
Oh, that was good. So this show was real boring. Like, it's a show about watching people cook, but like at least a fifth or like a quarter of it was just the people, the judges, making rude comments or like comments about people cooking and not actually watching anyone cook.
I enjoyed the judges' comments.
I
They're
mean,
all like stock comments.
The judges are always trying to guess who their cooks and the cons, and so they love to talk about what's a pro move and not. And like, so they say the word pro move like 20 times, and I think it's great.
I think that this one has a nice hook that sets it apart from all the other cooking competition shows on TV. There are 1,000,000,001, cake battle, Chopped, like all this shit. And at least this one has like an extra reason to watch it, other than just like who's gonna make the best food that I can't taste.
There is a kernel of good here. The metagame of, are they the real deal or are they a fake?
Yeah, exactly. Like you're constantly guessing along with the judges. Like, was that a pro move or was that?
All right. You cut this in half. This is a 30-minute show instead of an hour show. I'll give it to you.
I agree.
Like, the show was just too long. It was too boring.
I think that it either should have been a half hour and it's just one dish, or it should have been 2 sets of people so you get to guess twice.
Oh,
in
yeah,
2
that
different
would be
dishes,
great.
2 different sets of people.
I don't know. Whatever. I don't watch enough of this. I don't know how to make this any better, except for, just show less like filler and have less than like 5 or 6 commercial breaks, and make it. I hate that they do the recap and like what's coming next, and then they recap every time.
This one didn't really do the recap as much, but this one had a really great / really terrible
I was gonna say,
go-to commercial
we
hook
have a really big different
that
definition
Max
of break.
already did a shout out to.
Every time, or not every time, but
Almost
4
every time.
times before they go to commercial, they say, coming up soon, and then Chef 1 says I, and then Chef 2 says am, and then Chef 3 says A, and they gotta say like cook or con, but instead, one of the judges just says, "Oh my God," or "I can't believe it."
What? Whoa!
Yeah, that's it.
And so, like, I actually saw an episode of this show earlier before we podcasted it. That's how I found out about the show and suggested it. And I was just watching the show with my wife, and they do that, and I'm like, Chris is gonna lose his mind every time they do this slow mo "I am a" thing, and I cannot wait to watch this show with him.
It was very bad. It was painful. It hurts. It hurts a lot.
I know.
Like, you're definitely getting into some reality show tropes here, but I think that there's something good at the core of this thing.
I agree with you, but the reality show tropes is what hurts it. Like, a
Absolutely.
lot.
No,
Like,
I agree.
All of these shows need to throw that out. Most of the reality show tropes are just too padded out. And this is 100% padded out. Like, every time they went to a judge and they said something, like, the first, like, maybe 1 or 2 times, who do you think it's going to be? Okay. You don't have to go back to them another 5 times in this half hour. Like, they're only cooking for a total of an hour for this whole episode. Like, how cheap do you really need to make it?
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I don't know. It was interesting seeing like the professional chef judges be like, "Oh yeah, you see the way that guy's chopping that thing? Like, he must be a pro because if you're a home chef, you don't learn to chop like that." And in some cases they're right. In some cases it just didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So the first segment of the show was they got a half hour to cook, and they were given 2 ingredients: chicken wings and pretzels. I don't really remember what they cooked, except for one guy decided to go.
Should we describe the 4 like contestants a little
Okay,
bit?
yeah, go ahead.
So
I don't really remember who they were. So
well, there was Rhonda, who was from Houston. There was Bobby, who was from Louisiana, I think, or was it Atlanta? Anyway, somewhere in
was
Georgia.
Atlanta. It was
Georgia.
Atlanta.
There was Andrew, who had really wild, crazy eyes, and I don't remember where he was from.
New Jersey.
Oh, that's right. I like the sad tone of voice there, Max.
Are you sad that you left New Jersey?
No.
Okay.
And then there was Jeffrey, who, if this was cooks versus convicts, definitely looked like he was a convict.
Yeah, well, he was on my list of convicts to begin with.
Obviously, was
Yeah.
on your list of convicts.
For sure. So
now let's go back to Chris bringing up something I think about Jeffrey's take on chicken wings and pretzels.
Yeah, so this was clearly planned, but Jeffrey decided that he wasn't going to make chicken wings out of chicken. He was going to make them out of mushrooms.
because he's a vegan and he claims to be a vegan chef, basically.
He's a
right?
militant vegan.
Yes. Militant.
And he didn't even use real pretzels, if I remember correctly. But
I feel like he did use the pretzels, like
it said he put pretzel. It said something about pretzels on it, but
it must have
I think-
been in the batter for his fake chicken wing.
Yeah.
That's the only
For the
place it could have
mushrooms,
been.
yeah.
but like they never said it in the show. Like maybe they should have spent some more time on like what people are actually making.
Well, they knew the shtick on Jeffrey was that he made chicken wings that didn't have any chicken in them, and that was going to be his whole thing.
It is a much. It seems like a bigger crime to not make chicken wings than to like just neglect to include the pretzels. I think.
And so like when he first starts doing that, the judges and the host on the side are talking about it. And it was really funny because they're like, the host is like, I don't know if this is against the rules or not. I guess it's up to you to decide. And it's like, I don't think that's how against the rules works. Like,
He was on that show clearly because he was going to make vegan food. There was no way he was going to get kicked off because of rules, because they knew he was going to cook vegan no matter what. You act like they didn't interview these people beforehand.
so you're saying, was it that, so like the casting director knew he was coming on and it was like, we got to pick something that's going to like offend him to cook with and see what he does?
Yeah. So I think it was like, okay, the first one, we're going to make it tough for him, and yes, going to have to pull some bullshit because we're going to give him chicken wings. And then for the second one, we'll give them mint, and he can do whatever he wants with it, basically, right?
I don't know.
Just so that in the second one, there's not a whole other debate about, well, he didn't make anything with lamb. Are we allowed to award him this thing, you know?
No, I mean, totally see that for the second one. And he should have been kicked off the first one if somebody else didn't, like, not cook their chicken.
Can you imagine going to a restaurant and ordering chicken wings and then fucking breaded mushrooms coming out?
I mean, hopefully it would be advertised as such.
I mean, there's that veggie place down in South Lake Union.
Veggie
Oh.
Grill?
Veggie Grill,
That's like
yeah.
a chain. That's not just.
I don't know where it is. I
But
don't know.
but like Veggie Grill makes they don't even like spell chicken correctly in the menu.
It's
They're like
like-
making very clear that you're not getting
It's
real
like
chicken.
CHIKIN.
Something like
CHYKN or some shit.
Ooh.
There's actually like the FDA rules say that if it's not actual chicken or not actual beef or whatever, it has to be like 2 or 3 letters off from the real thing so that people don't fuck up. There's real rules on this.
That makes sense.
There's a product called WYNGZ, which are not real chicken wings.
Just tofu wings.
They have some chicken in them, but they're not enough chicken to be called chicken.
So if you were hold on,
That sounds grosser than just a mushroom chicken wing.
Who are they making those for if they still have some meat in them? Like, they're not for vegetarians anymore.
No, it's just like cheaper.
it's
to
like
produce.
the Taco Bell situation when someone claimed Taco Bell's beef was less than 50% beef, and Taco Bell's answer was no, it's 88% real meat.
So basically, there's just filler cost cutting
Yeah.
kind of stuff. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Gotcha. So, vegan guy didn't cook chicken wings at all.
No,
Then we had the woman from Houston.
yeah,
Who,
Rhonda.
decided to go for a chicken and waffles situation, which when it came out the other end, it looked terrible. And then when they broke the wings open, she served them raw fucking chicken wings.
Yeah, she misjudged that she put a lot of effort in that waffle, which apparently was really good, but then did not cook her chicken wings, which is kind of a bad move.
So here's a question. Rhonda, was she a cook or was she a con?
She was a
Oh my god.
cook.
Oh my god.
How can you be so she's a professional cook with her own restaurant and couldn't cook chicken wings through? Like,
She knew it wasn't going to be cooked through, but what was she going to do?
don't serve raw fucking chicken. That's what you do.
Well, she should have. I
Yeah.
don't know. Take it up with a vegan guy who gets kicked off. Both of them wouldn't have served chicken.
No, I get that. Yeah.
I was pretty disappointed that we didn't really get to see how they felt about the vegan guy Jeffrey not using chicken, because as soon as they had the raw chicken wing on there, I was like, this is done.
They had a very easy out for not
Yeah.
booting the vegan guy. Yeah.
I mean, they knew he wasn't going to cook chicken. Like, the judges probably already knew too.
But then, like, if the other 3 do well, maybe they just kick him out for funsies, and then they have the other 3 in the second round.
I mean, it's possible. He didn't do very well in the second round, so.
So I wonder how much of this is like the judges know all this stuff, or it's that like the producers know it and they set it up and they save like at least some natural reaction for the judges. You know,
I think it might be the latter.
I don't
Like,
know.
Most of it's scripted, but
I don't know.
I can believe that.
It seemed like most of the judges' talk was like kind of just stock, like, "Oh, he's it. This is it. That's my guy." Like,
That's
you
a
could
pro
shoot that
move.
whenever. You could shoot that whenever. It doesn't even have to be for those people.
No, it did in a lot of cases because they were talking about specific things they were doing and whether or not they were pro moves, right?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh, look how that guy's chopping that thing. Pro move. Yeah, that you don't think they could do that like once and then just keep reusing it?
So it's like Madden when they have all the pre-recorded little bits,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then the computer decides what part to put in for everything.
Well, they
that
probably have
happens.
like 1,000 takes of them saying it to get it right.
I guess that I never saw all of the judges and the contestants in one shot together.
Oh yeah, no,
They were never in the same shot together.
nope.
Oh,
never.
you think they're
So-
like remote working?
But they had to eat the food though.
they're
Did
not?
they, though?
well, you saw them all in one shot when they're eating the food, but not when they're cooking.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah.
Actually, what probably is happening is that the people are cooking, and then the judges watch the cooking later and make comments.
But like honestly, like if it's only like 2 30-minute chunks of cooking, like if you're getting paid to be a judge, you can't just sit there for an hour and watch them cook and make some comments.
Yeah, but you could just fast forward through all that and like do it in 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, they could have done it that way. It was yeah.
I'm curious of that too. Did the producers know and does the judges not know? I think so. I don't think they know.
I think that there's something. I think that when you're doing like a judged competition for money, there are like certain laws around competitions, and like I don't know that the judges can really be involved with the pre-production of the show and setting that kind of stuff up, because I think that they have to be able to judge the skill-based competition.
I don't know, man.
There's
Like,
legislation around this shit.
There's in my stint in marketing, we ran a lot of different contests and sweepstakes and giveaways and stuff like that. And there's a bunch of laws around like contests and competitions and things like
But
that.
what if all 4 contestants are being paid, and it's just like a lie that there's
Yeah,
cash prize?
sure. That's fine as long as they're not giving someone a.
That's definitely Chris's theory.
yeah. I guess they could all be actors, and the
they're
whole
all-
thing could be
they're
fake.
all actors.
They're all
fake.
cons.
No, it would be way too expensive to pick actors. It's just cheaper to get 4 random people. Like, you get the food truck guy to be your professional chef. He's not going to cost anything. You get, like, the guy that works at the convenience store is your professional chef. And then you just get 2 people off the street. You know, they'll only cost you, like, $1,000.
I like that you need a convenience store guy to be a professional chef. But
Yeah.
an amateur, you can just get off the street.
Yeah.
Yo, the convenience store guy is popping those hot dogs on the rollers, though. It's quite a technique.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a pro move.
So it's
Pro
a,
move.
can you imagine if some dude busted out a hot dog roller and they put him on? Oh, you see how he put those rollers on? He's been here before.
So for the first round, is there anything interesting to say about Bobby or Andrew's concoctions?
Not really. They made chicken wings, and
That
it
weren't cooked.
seemed like it went okay. Yeah,
Well, one was overcooked, and I was like, yeah.
but I did notice that none of the wings really had like sauces associated with them. And usually when I'm going to get chicken wings, you kind of want them to be like tossed in some good sauce, right?
Not always, but sometimes. Yeah, yeah.
In most cases, or else you're just eating fried chicken.
Well,
I think, right?
I think they went more for a fried chicken kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think the pretzels were part of that because they were all using the pretzels in their chicken coating and stuff. So
Yeah, I guess so.
So the last, so when Rhonda gets kicked off the show and revealed as a con, they have a little like 30-second bit about her restaurant in Houston. And just like
revealed as a cook.
revealed as a cook, sorry. And then it's just like super awkward, the framing of she just like served people raw chicken, and now it's like, come to my restaurant in Houston.
It's like, and now she's starting her own business. She just opened her restaurant and has a new wine label.
She's
and
starting a winery. She already owns a restaurant.
oh, so now she's stocking the restaurant with her own wine.
She's like stocking her own winery with her own wine.
So how do you think that works? Do you think she bought some kind of like a vineyard and is like farming that stuff, or you think she's just getting the grapes? Or you think she's buying wine and rebottling it?
do they have vineyards in Texas?
Probably not.
I don't think I've ever seen the Texas wine on the shelf.
So
It's all hydro these days, I think.
So when
guess.
when I went to some wine places around here, all the grapes get made in Eastern Washington, and then they
Or Yakima.
here buy the grapes and then make wine from them.
Well, they like don't have vineyards, and this is to Seattle specific, in like Woodinville and stuff. Like those like
Not really.
Oh, really? Interesting.
They have vineyards for show.
Yeah.
They don't have actual
Like
vineyards.
production vineyards.
They don't have
Yeah.
actual production.
No.
Climate isn't
Gotcha.
right.
Gotta
So
have that
they
climate.
get all their grapes from Eastern Washington.
So she could feasibly be getting shipped the grapes and then doing the fermentation and the bottling and all that stuff herself. Or do you think she's just getting somebody to make the things and make the wine and putting labels on it?
I think it's the latter.
I don't care.
Yeah, I just don't give a shit.
Thanks, Chris.
I'm just throwing that one out there.
I'm right there with you, Chris. I just
Throwing a maxim.
So
All
then
right.
they have round 2 where they had to cook with mint. And they made a big deal about the fact that you don't have to cook. You can cook whatever you want as long as you use mint. And the vegan was very happy about that. And the judges make a big deal about the fact that they have 2 cons and only 1 cook left, and they're very excited about this. But I'd like Max Harrison to talk more about vegan Jeffrey and how much he just got on their nerves as the show went on.
okay. So this guy. Okay, first off, I got a hot take here.
Oh, I want to hear it.
Vegan food can be okay, even good.
I think that's fair.
I've had excellent like Indian food that's all
Vegan food can be okay is not a hot take. Okay is the opposite of a hot take.
I've had excellent meals that happen to be vegan. However,
Okay.
this guy doesn't make meals that happen to be vegan. He's militant about it. He is unbearable. He put juniper berries into one of his things because he wanted to dedicate it to his daughter, Juniper.
Oh, I was trying to figure out at the end if he said that his daughter's name was Juniper or Jupiter, and I didn't really catch it when he said it.
It was Juniper.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Do you think
Because-
he named the daughter off the berry?
He named his daughter after the show Cooks or Cons.
So when like he chucked those with the juniper berries into the pan, Richard Blaze, he's like a Top Chef guy who's one of the judges. He's like, oh man, he's using juniper berries. I barely even ever use those. He must be a pro. It's like pro move.
Definite pro move.
Yeah.
Yeah. This second half, I could barely watch it. I was so uninterested. Like, oh, you have to use mint, so I didn't care about the cooking because they were just making whatever they wanted. At least in these other shows where they give you like restrictions, it forces them to do something interesting and varied. Whereas like this is just like they made pretty much whatever they want. They pretty much generically whatever they wanted. I don't know. It wasn't interesting.
The thing that they usually do on these shows when they have a featured ingredient like that is like you have to showcase the ingredient. Like it has to be like the center of attention of the dish. And this one's just like you can make whatever you want as long as it just has mint in it. So a bunch of them just like ground it up and just chucked it in a sauce or something mostly.
I
Yeah.
mean, I'm actually okay with challenges where where like half the show is here's the main ingredient and then the other half of the show is like here's something that has to be in there because you get to be more creative with the second one. You have a much wider range.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's just not. I just don't think it's as interesting to watch.
It was kind of interesting that it's like Jeffrey went for more of a dessert kind of thing, while the other 2 did a more of a traditional like main course kind of dish.
So have you guys seen Iron Chef? I'm sure.
Yes.
It's like the original cooking competition.
I've
and
seen the Iron Giant.
oh, the Iron Giant.
I've seen Iron Chef. I've seen Japanese Iron Chef.
Oh yeah, Japanese Iron Chef's the best.
Oh,
So-
yeah.
Especially when that dude takes that huge bite out of the pepper in the
Bell
beginning.
pepper,
That's
yeah.
really great.
It's legit.
But so the thing about Iron Chef is it's similar where they say, okay, here's the featured ingredient for the battle, and then they unveil this huge dramatic thing, and they have like every possible kind of like permutation and variety of the thing. It's like it's mushrooms, and there's like a bunch of insane looking mushrooms. Like it's crab. There's a shit ton of crab. And in this one, it's like, here's pretzels. You can pick the soft pretzel, the hard pretzel, or the honey mustard pretzel. And it was just kind of like a weird, like low rent Iron Chef situation.
Very much so. They
Well-
just like went to their local supermarket and grabbed some shit.
Yeah, it's like, all right, somebody go get the mint from the produce aisle. I'll grab a bag of rolled gold and we'll be good.
This show screams cheap as possible.
What channel is this on? Food Network.
Food
of course.
Network. Food Network produces about 20 of these kind of shows.
Yeah. To be fair about the Iron Chef comment, like it's hard to pull off how crazy over dramatic Iron Chef is and not have it be kind of terrible. So most shows don't try for that, and it's understandable.
That's fair. That's fair.
People are looking at me.
I'm looking for a hot take.
You looking for a hot take? So should we just skip to the end at this point? Do we have anything to say about the second half?
No.
I don't know. Some dude, the vegan guy, blended together avocados and chocolate, and I wonder how that tastes. I have no idea.
I get like a shake like that once in a while. It's pretty decent.
Okay, seems pretty good. And then somebody made
Lamb.
Lamb.
Cannelloni.
Sony made
Cannelloni.
gnocchi and didn't finish cooking the gnocchi.
It
and
seemed like
that's
they
why
could.
they lost.
Seemed like these people could use a little more time. Like this chicken wings didn't get
30
cooked.
minutes is just
the
not long.
gnocchi.
Well, I
Yeah.
think that's part of the challenge. Is you gotta pick something that you can actually deliver in 30 minutes.
Don't overreach.
Don't overreach.
Yeah,
That's not overreaching is a pro move.
that's definitely true. Also, I loved in the first challenge when one of the judges was like, "Oh, he's not even following the challenge. Total pro move." And it's like, what are you talking about?
It's true.
It's ridiculous.
That's what a pro would do.
That's
Pro
yeah.
move.
Throughout the rule book.
Oh, and another thing of why you don't see them cooking and the comments at the same time is maybe after they're done cooking, they can go back and like, hey, can you like say this, like pretending to be like this moment so we can play it here? So like it's not necessarily they're not watching the cooking at the same time. We also get like better different takes.
Maybe they did some pickup shots after.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if when the guy's not actually doing the chicken, they're just like, he's definitely got to go. And they're like, damn it, someone didn't even cook their chicken properly. We got to get rid of them. Let's do some reshoots. So it's like, oh, it's a pro move, not following the challenge.
I mean, like these judges are talking for an hour plus amongst themselves, and they're only cutting out like 60 seconds worth of talk.
I actually
of
wonder if
time.
they're talking for an hour straight. If there's a lot of them just sitting there staring into blankly.
They're sitting there on their phones. They're playing Pokemon.
It's true.
Yeah. So at the end, the lamb and mint chutney. What was the dish?
Cannelloni.
Cannelloni.
Cannelloni won.
Crazy Eyes Andrew and his lamb mint cannelloni took home the prize. But Harrison, was he a cook or a con?
He was the other remaining cook, so he took home the $10,000 prize.
You didn't say it right.
15.
He is a cook.
All right, let's move
It
on.
was too much. I couldn't. It's too much.
It's 15.
15.
Yeah.
No, 15 if you're a con.
Right.
But he was a cook, so he got 10.
Oh.
If militant vegan Jeffrey or we didn't talk about her much Bobby had won because they were both cons, they would have gotten 15.
I just saw 15K. I didn't see.
So
anything
Chris,
with
is
10.
it rigged that they made sure a cook won so they could only have to pay out $10,000?
Nope. They don't care.
They don't care about that 5K?
No.
No.
Okay.
Probably not. Yeah. Also, see contest laws on that kind of stuff.
All right, since we're talking about who was a cook, who was a con, do we got to reveal our predictions?
Yeah. So we all picked at the beginning of the show.
So we picked just seeing like their faces and not knowing anything about how good they were as cooks or not. So this was definitely very prejudiced picking.
Okay, Rob, how'd you do?
So my two picks for cons were Andrew, which was wrong, and Bobby, which was right.
My cons were the person that got kicked off first,
Rhonda.
which was wrong, and I picked Jeffrey as a con, which was right.
Good call.
Okay. I wrote down my two cons, which are B-less WG, which means beardless white guy. So that was Andrew, so that was wrong. And then I wrote down B lady, which is black lady. That was wrong.
Ooh.
All wrong.
Sexist and wrong.
No, first off, it's racist. Second of all,
I thought that one was sexist.
don't worry
It's
about it.
both.
I expected all of the chefs to have like sort of a dead look in their eyes, and these two were way too. They were overacting. Maybe they were just excited to be on TV. I don't know.
Well, they weren't like working in like a McDonald's or like Fridays. They were like doing passion projects. So they weren't like burnout like chefs.
Sure. I mean,
I was
I-
stunned Andrew was a chef because he seemed his eyes and his like nervous manner, I was like, this is not a guy who you want in a real kitchen. But
I don't know.
apparently.
Like, I think that, it's easy to say it in retrospect, but I think that when he was like how fast he was working, the way he was doing stuff, it
Oh,
seemed like
yes.
he's used to like working in a kitchen,
Yeah.
getting shit out the door.
That is fair.
No,
and
I-
his knife skills were top notch.
Yeah.
So
was a
he could
pro.
have been a con, as in he's murdered people.
Oh no, his knife skills.
No, about 10 minutes in, I was like, oh, I made the 2 wrong choices.
All right, Harrison, lay it on us.
So, as you know, I originally picked which two of them were convicts, and upon realizing what I had done, I promptly crinkled up the piece of paper and then thought about it and wrote the same 2 names down for cons. His convicts, and
were?
I wrote white woman and beard guy. So I nailed it.
Oh!
Which is
We have
crazy.
a winner. We have a winner.
Yeah. Although I was seriously doubting myself when I saw that raw chicken come out. I was like, this can't be a professional chef. But
Au contraire.
au contraire.
Well done. You certainly know how to tell a cook from a con.
Oh yeah, or a convict maybe.
So, do we like the name Cooks versus Cons, or do you think it would be better as Cook or Crook?
Well, so it doesn't make sense because, like, the architect isn't a crook.
Yeah, I mean, if they were thieves, I think it would make sense.
You're trying to steal that money from the professional
steal
chefs.
that, steal that money. Yeah, I think Cooks versus Cons is a very misleading name. I think that Cooks versus Crooks,
No, Cook or Crook.
Cook or Crook, also misleading name. I have no idea.
What's a good name for this show?
There
Snooze Fest.
there like used to be a show, like an old game show that there would be like 3 or 4 people that would tell their story, and then like some celebrity panel of judges would have to like guess if they
Oh
were.
yeah. What was that show called?
Hollywood Squares.
Yep, Hollywood Squares. So I think they should just name it whatever the name of that show is, but some pun on cooking.
Wait, was I right? I was.
No, Hollywood
okay.
Squares is
I
a
was
totally
making
different
a
show.
joke. Okay,
No.
good.
Yeah,
You
we
just
all
rolled
got.
with it.
No, we wanted the audience at home to think you were right.
Okay,
And
sorry,
I'm just gonna sweep it under the rug.
Yeah,
my bad.
it's okay.
You screwed it up. I don't know. I don't think Cooks versus Cons definitely makes me think of convicts, but I don't like crooks either. So,
Do you have a better name for the show?
as I said, Snooze Fest.
All right, fair
I don't
enough.
know, man. I think this is pretty watchable.
You guys are killing me, killing me.
It's way too long.
Yeah. It's so okay. All right. So one of the things I've noticed is like it's super long, but when the judges are critiquing people's dishes, they're cutting away. Did you see that? I was like, at least let me see what they thought about the dish. Like, especially at the end where it was like there was a part where the vegan guy made 3 pieces, and then the one guy said, "Oh, this piece was really good, and this cookie doesn't really work." And then there was something about this is why you don't make 3 dishes because your one dish was great, but your other 2 dishes were bad. But we didn't hear anything about the other part. I don't even know what the other part was.
Don't worry
the show is
about
super
it.
long. I can't even include what the whole part of the show is about. I can't stand the show. Are we done? Can we not stop talking about it?
I'm okay with.
I think
that.
we're pretty well covered here.
Thank God. I'm out of energy. Does anyone have anything else shows they've been watching want to talk about?
I had one thing I had ready to bring up. So, I recently went back to an old favorite of ours, Dating Naked,
Oh,
Oh man.
and there have been some So I only saw like some original like first season Dating Naked shows. There have been a bunch of changes. I don't know if this is like common knowledge that I'm just out on, but I wanted to get people's takes on this. First off, Amazon Amy out of the picture.
Really.
who's
There's
hosting it now?
Some person you've never heard of.
Oh man.
Who's not on Amazon commercials. And Amazon Amy's not on Amazon commercials anymore either. So maybe she's done. I don't know.
Moving on
Tough
up.
times.
Tough times. And second, so what I remember from Dating Naked was at the start of the episode, there's 2 main contestants who go on a date with each other. And then they go on dates with other people. And at the end, they pick who they want to go on like a future date with. They can go on a date with each other or one of the other people. And then that's the end of the show. Next show, new people. This was This was the first episode of a season. So there's two people.
Can I take a guess?
Go for it.
Is it like at the same time the Bachelor and the Bachelorette and they're naked?
Basically.
Oh my
So
god!
the show starts by these two people go on a date with each other, but they are the main characters for the season. And so they get to go on 2 more dates that episode. Then they pick 2 of the 4 other people to stay for the next episode when there'll be more people that they get to go on dates with. And they just get to keep rolling with whoever they want to keep around. And like the guy at the end was like, I like the main person the best, but I can't pick her because she's staying around anyway, so I'll pick this other person to stay.
Wow.
And then they showed like this season on, and they're clearly pushing for a lot more drama because people are staying around and there's more thing and stuff like that. So up to that point, of course, I'm thinking about Chris, who loves the drama of so much.
Don't put words in my mouth.
That's obviously the opposite of what you like. So anyway, that was my thing. I'm like, oh, dating naked. They really changed a bunch of stuff about it. But at the end of the day, still a bunch of naked people. So
Wait. So there's 6 people on each episode, and 2 people get kicked off each episode.
So I don't know if in future episodes there'll be 4 new people and 4 people get kicked off.
So you think that they'll add 4? Okay, that would make sense.
Yeah.
But that's like how long do they film this show? Like,
I don't know.
Is it like, a month and they're like going on like 40 dates?
They're
Like,
going on a lot of naked dates. Like that's definitely what the I didn't only watch 1 episode, then I was good, but like the next time on, we see like those main 2 are going on like 40 naked dates.
Yeah, that's different. You got to be a real nudist, I think, to do like that. Like, you get on the show, you can be naked for like a day or 2 or whatever. But like, fucking
Was there
40
Freudian
days?
slip in there?
Maybe, I don't know.
Carry on.
I didn't have anything else to say.
I mean, I feel like if you're going on a TV show naked, you're gonna be on TV naked. You're probably pretty comfortable. I don't know.
Okay. What if there's a show, Dating Naked or Con?
Go on.
Basically, so
No.
they're always blurring out those genitals, so you don't really know if they're naked or not. And you, as
Oh man.
the audience member, have to guess if they're actually naked.
So what kind of things do they do to try to suggest what they might like as the judge, like saying like, look at what he did there. That's
Pro
definitely a
move.
naked move. Like what sort of stuff is like that?
Like horseback riding.
100% horseback riding.
Horseback riding is a given. Whipping
Trampoline?
it around like a helicopter.
Trampoline is definitely pro move, I think.
Oh,
at this
yeah.
point.
We need a better name though than Dating Naked or Con.
Oh man.
I got nothing.
All right. Thanks for your great suggestion, Max.
Welcome.
I'm in. I think that leads to our normal thing. Would this Cooks versus Cons be better if everyone was naked?
As I always say with the cooking shows, I don't think you want to be cooking naked because you could potentially have some problems with hot things or sharp things or just a variety of situations.
Those are problems.
You know.
What if the judges were naked?
Sure.
Are they just trying to distract the contestants?
Maybe.
Okay.
No. I don't want to see any of these people naked. So no.
You don't want to see militant vegan Jeffrey naked?
No.
I bet that dude's real hairy.
There is one thing we didn't do though. We didn't say if this is in the top third or bottom third of or like what third the show exists in.
Solid middle third.
I agree.
You guys are fucking ridiculous.
I'm with you,
Yo.
Chris. Lower third.
This is like bottom 1 or 2.
Let me tell you
like,
about.
this isn't even close.
Let me tell you about The Celebrity Apprentice, and let me tell you about Real Housewives shows. Let me tell you about some of these.
At
other
least
things
they
we've
were
seen.
entertaining.
Were they?
Celebrity Apprentice was not entertaining
Celebrity
in the
Apprentice
least.
was Celebrity Apprentice below this. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
And,
And,
it
like-
was below this before all this Trump stuff too. To be
Yeah,
fair,
yeah,
we watched that.
Oh
in
yeah.
winter 2015.
Yeah. Listen to our episode about that. Don't watch the show. Just listen to the episode.
But
Shit,
that was
I
a
might
pretty
go back to that.
that was a pretty entertaining episode though
Yeah.
of the podcast, not the Celebrity Apprentice.
I don't know what else is below this. Like Real Housewives is a terrible show, but was entertaining. This show just wasn't entertaining, and it was boring.
I'd rather watch this. Here's something I'll say. I'd rather watch this than The Rock's boring reality show Wake Up Call.
Oh man.
We didn't do that on the podcast.
We
Yes,
definitely
We did. You might not have been here, but
I don't remember watching that.
There was this fat dude, and then he was still fat at the end.
He was
Oh.
he was slightly less fat.
I think I do remember this now. Now that you mention that,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember a reality show being this boring.
Wake Up Call was way more boring than this show.
Hopefully they canceled that.
They
I
did.
haven't seen it again, but they
They
also
did.
only did one season of The Rock's amazing reality show, The Hero. So I don't know how he decides what reality shows he's on. But now he's on an HBO prestige show. So.
They gotta bring back Hero.
Hero was so good. How fast would we be doing a podcast? We'd probably podcast every episode of The Hero. If
if the hero came back on, we'd just do a hero podcast.
Yeah, that's right.
You guys, no, no.
Joanne, maybe we should do it. We never did a podcast on The Hero. Maybe we should find an episode and do it.
Yeah, that's a pretty good show.
I was not a huge fan of The Hero. It was definitely middle top tier of our shows, but this no. Maybe what was it, Bully Beatdown or whatever?
Oh yeah.
Hell of a show. Hell of a show.
Yeah. So I watched Stranger Things.
Oh yeah.
That show was really good.
I've heard good things about that.
recommend that.
I'm like 4 episodes in. It's good so far. I'm not like, this is the best thing I've ever seen.
Oh, I don't think it was the best thing ever.
Okay.
It's definitely. I don't even know if I'd put it on top of Netflix shows, but it was enjoyable. It was fun. Definitely has like a different vibe than a lot of shows.
For sure.
I was pretty excited for HBO's summer lineup coming out, and I haven't watched enough of the night of. I've just seen the first episode, so I need to watch that. But between Ballers and Vice Principals, I've been a little bit disappointed. Like, I was a huge fan of Eastbound and Down, like Danny McBride's last show that he did for HBO. So I thought that Vice Principals was going to be amazing, and like I feel like it just kind of hasn't really found its footing as much.
But the episode where they went to the girl's house.
Oh yeah,
That was
It's insane,
great.
yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think Ballers is better than last season.
Yeah.
I think actually getting into like some drama that like is more interesting, but it's not funny really. So like it's just like kind of a straight drama. And Vice Principals isn't as funny as it needs to be as like a comedy.
It's like when you watch Eastbound and Down, like that show's great from the first episode, and I don't think the Vice Principals really delivers in the same way.
No. I mean, we'll see how it picks up, but I've seen both. I've caught up on both. So it's I don't know if I could recommend either of them. So like I would say you have to see how it shakes out, but it's definitely more of a drama. Both of them seem more drama than comedy.
Yeah. So then the first episode of the night of is good, and I want to keep watching that show, but like each episode's like an hour and a half long, so I just haven't really carved out the time to do it. But it's like
It's a big commitment.
yeah, it's one of those
Almost Sherlock level commitment.
It's one of those like 8-part miniseries kind of style things that's kind of popping up right now.
Sure.
I don't know.
No, I've seen the commercials. Commercials look really good, but like I don't have time to commit to another hour and a half per episode show right now.
yeah, it's a little serious.
A nice little quick hit of cooks versus cons is really more my speed these days.
Quick? You call that quick?
It wasn't an hour and a half.
Put two of those together.
But what if it was an hour and a half?
Kill me.
So there's 8 cooks, and they do 6 things.
Max, do you have anything?
Like shows?
Sure.
I've been watching Fringe.
Oh yeah, I remember, I wanted to ask you about
Like
that.
from the beginning or rewatching?
From
or?
the beginning.
Okay.
Never
It's,
seen it before.
It's I would call it probably my favorite show.
I am 2
Ever?
episodes.
As a drama, yeah.
Wow. I liked Fringe. At least I liked some of the seasons of Fringe, but that is high praise right there.
Yeah, it is.
I am 2 episodes from a episode called Peter that I'm told is quite good.
Oh yeah.
It's very good.
my biggest thing I was excited about with Fringe was Charlie Conway from Mighty Ducks getting right in the mix.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he's pretty good in that show.
Have you watched the Mighty Ducks recently?
Mighty Ducks 1 doesn't hold up. D2 holds up. Watch that shit. It definitely holds up.
I can't. I just can't. handle
You
this
got
right now.
Charlie Conway in the mix. You got Keenan Thompson knuckle pucking. Right. You
These
got
are-
Goldberg.
It was so bad. They're so like these. Like you take the most generic
And-
sports stories and you add terrible kid actors, and it was terrible.
but you got
It was
but
bad.
but you got Emilio Estevez putting that movie on his back.
What the hell
Peak
else?
Estevez.
Peak Estevez.
What else has Emilio Estevez been in? Tell me another one good thing he's been in other than D2.
The Honey Hole Menu.
He was in the original Mission Impossible for about 5 minutes, and that's a pretty good movie.
Not because of him.
his performance in D2 is so towering, it just overshadows all of his other performances, and I can't even remember them.
All right, so
What's
Fringe
his name? What's his
is a
character's
re-
name again?
Fringe
Gordon
is a really
Bombay,
good show.
coach of
That's
Team
right.
USA.
Fringe, great show. You should totally watch that if you haven't seen it. Season 2 and 3, probably the best seasons of TV ever.
So Max is right about halfway through season 2. I think halfway through season 2 to halfway through season 3 is incredibly good, and then it quickly starts to go off a cliff.
I mean,
Are we talking Heroes goes off a cliff?
no,
It's not that sudden,
Okay.
but like it's just
it doesn't fall that far either. I think you're right. It does fall, but season 2 and 3 are just so good. I can't.
the first half of season 3. The second half of season 3.
I
is
like
not-
the second half of season 3.
It,
I'll give you season 4 is not very good,
season 4 is not very good. Season 5 is just a mess.
but
Did-
if they gave it more episodes, season 5 would have been great.
But the season 5 I saw was not that good.
Yeah, I haven't gone back to rewatch season 5, but
Did anybody watch that new Heroes spin-off thing?
No.
Nope.
No?
Why would we do that?
I don't know. I mean, Heroes was good originally.
season 1,
Yeah.
they burned me. I watched the whole series.
You watched the whole series?
Yeah,
I watched through like halfway of season 3 and I was done.
I watched the whole thing, so I was like, I was done with that.
I
That's
made it
not-
all the way through season 3, and I was like, why am I still doing this?
Yeah, it happens.
You
It
know,
happened.
it served a purpose.
Some sort of X-Men ripoff kind of thing. I liked season 1, and then people got too powerful and they didn't know how to deal with it, which was really annoying.
Yes, season 1 had a nice mix of heroes and muggles, and then everyone got a superpower, and it was less interesting.
I don't care if everyone gets a superpower. What I didn't like was how it was just Peter and Sylar. Or what was the other?
Sylar, yes.
Yeah,
Spock.
Spock. It was just those two versus each other. So it was like no one else mattered because no one else had enough power to take down either or the other one.
They were
Hero
definitely
was
like,
always fun. Hiro Nakamura.
he was fun, but like,
Yeah.
they realized the guy playing Skylar was like, oh, this guy is going to be great. He's going to be a big star. We got to make him the focal point of the show, and it was just not the right thing.
Well,
to
he
do.
should have died at the end of season 1,
Yeah, exactly.
and they didn't kill him.
And they were right. He was going to become a bigger star, but ruining their show for that purpose didn't
Well,
really help.
the writer strike supposedly ruined the show
Yeah.
Yeah.
because
That's-
season 2 they wrote during the writing strike, which
If that's the
means-
case, why wasn't season 3 better?
that's a good question.
Because they already lost all their talent and they had a shit season, so no one wanted to be on the writing staff, maybe? Like, I don't
Oh,
know.
maybe.
Like,
I can't tell you what happened with season 3, but they lost all the momentum in season 2.
maybe they should have just put that show on hold until they had the writers back.
Yeah.
That's called what a much smarter show called 24 did.
Oh.
But you'd think that James Bond would have done the same thing. Quantum of Solace was written during the writing strike as well.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, supposedly Daniel Craig was like doing the rewrites because they had no official writer.
That is not great.
Yeah, it didn't go so great.
Yeah. Oof.
All right. So has anyone got any more plugs? Max, you got a plug?
You guys go first while I think of one.
Harrison, you got a plug?
You can follow me on Twitter at Harrison Hoffman.
Rob?
You can follow me on Twitter at RobKitz.
You can follow me on Twitter at the Chris Lorenz. Max?
Check out my new sports/cooking show, Chef. Hold on.
He's a con.
Chef or ref?
Chef or ref?
Yeah. They have two challenges. One where you're a ref and one where you're a chef, and you gotta figure out who's the chef, who's the ref.
That seems like that would be pretty obvious.
When they don't know the rules of the sports.
You can follow us on Twitter at Who Put This On. Email us questions at whoputthison@gmail.com. And follow us on Facebook at Who Put This On. We'll see you guys next time.